this computer, and then let me go back and share. That way you don't have to be trying to take pictures or do
Oh,
anything.
thank you so much.
You'll have it right there to be a little less time intensive. So when you first get to this screen, as you see, there's a lot of information on here, but I only want you to focus on just a little bit of this for right now. The very first thing you'll do is come here where it says log in, and you're going to press log in. This is going to give you an opportunity to put your information in. As you see, it popped up with my name as soon as I got ready to fill in the fields. So in your case, or you're already actually a member, you will put in your name here. I'm putting mine's here. Once you put it in there, it's always going to save it, so you don't have to keep retyping that over and over again. Mm-hmm. And if you look down here in this part, it says forgot password. So technically, we know that you didn't forget the password, but when you click on that, it's going to send you a link to set your password up to your email address. Mm-hmm. So that's the very first thing you want to do is put in your email address, click forgot password. It's going to send you a link and set up a password that's going to allow you to go further. Okay, so now I'm going to log in so you can actually see what you're going to see once you get there. Come on, no, I don't want to chat with anybody. I just want to get in. Okay. This is going to always pop up, you know, the very first time you'll want to read it. It just kind of say, you know, do you want to get emails from us every time? You know, do you want us to give your stuff out to third parties, etc.? You answer yes, no, and then it goes away. Mm-hmm. So that's just something you can do. It's going to keep popping up unless you tell it not to pop up. Mm-hmm. So you see right here where it says welcome Patty. So once you get signed on, it's going to say welcome Zoe. It's going to say welcome Derek. So if I go here to my name and I click on it, it's going to be a little slower because, you know, we're not like per se like in real time. You're going to see some tools. It's going to say go to base camp, choose a path, or view the navigator. Don't worry about all this stuff right now. I'm going to take you to the very first thing that you need to do. And then over time, you can learn what all of this stuff means. Just for the sake of you knowing, here you'll see your member number when you join, like your address, your phone number. And then all of this stuff here is like different education awards I've received, you know, membership history, et cetera, et cetera. So just to let you know, it will keep every single thing that you do and it will stay in your profile. Even if you stop being a Toastmasters at some point and you come back, you will always have the same information loaded. So don't worry about it getting lost, okay? So right here, it says like Hong Kong MBA Toastmasters. Can y'all see my cursor?
Yeah.
Okay, so go to base camp. So that's one way you can go to base camp, or you can go to pathways here and you can choose a base camp, or you can choose the navigator. So there's two different ways to get to base camp. Base camp is the very first thing you're going to want to do after logging in. You want to be able to get to the tools that you need when you start speaking and doing things of that nature. So I go to the base camp. You'll see that mine has like base camp profiles, there's feedback, there's path, there's e-portfolio. You're going to learn all of this stuff. So again, I'm just kind of familiarizing you with the things that you're going to need to see. But let's go back for just a second, and we're going to act like this is the very first time you got on here. Oh, no, I have to actually sign out of this thing because I'm in a different spot. Hold on. Because I don't want y'all to be there. Go out. Okay. Okay, so here you're going to choose a path. So this is the screen that you're going to see. You're going to sign on with your password. You don't even have to hit on welcome Patty or welcome Zoe if you don't want to. You can go straight to pathways, but to me it's easier to not even click on your name the first time. Just start here. So let's go to continue with the path selection. When you do that, it's going to ask you, do you want to get it in digital form or do you want to get it in printed materials? Don't get printed materials. There's no reason for them to print all that stuff and send it to you. Plus, it takes them forever to bind it and actually mail it out to you. So it's just going to delay you being able to get started. My suggestion is also go with the digital method. Okay. So it's, you know, it kind of gives you a reason. Like if I click on that, it'll say, this is why you should choose the digital message, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So see, they kind of give you like a breakdown of all the different stuff. You don't need to know all that. See if I can get out of that. Let me see if it'll let me go continue. Why won't let me go continue? Okay, select digital resource. And what will come up is something that looks like this. So my suggestion would be to go here where it says take an online assessment. On the left side, it gives you all the different paths and the different names of the path. But since you don't know anything about pathways, it's just going to be labor intensive with you reading what every single path is, what it does, what it represents, and etc. But if you go here and take the assessment, it's actually going to ask you like several different questions, and you answer those, and it's going to say, hey, based on the answers to your assessment, these are the 2 paths we suggest you start off with. Now, with that being said, you do not have to use the ones that they tell you to. You can still go with whichever path you want. It's just a good starting point. I would suggest for new members that have never been in Toastmasters and never done this, go with presentation mastery or with engage in humor. Those are 2 of the lighter type ones. You definitely don't want to do like innovative planning or anything like that, because it's going to be very tough for a brand new Toastmasters. But take the assessment. You know, if you have some time to read up on it, read up on it. I don't know if it'll let me retake the assessment because I've already taken it, but let me see if I click it, what happens. Yeah, I think it's showing me a check mark because it's probably saying like, you're stupid, you already did that. So, so take the assessment. But if I view the path options, let's just go here. Come on, bing. It kind of gives you like, you like have to open up each one, and it tells you a little bit about what each path has to offer. So before you do anything else, go ahead and get this out of the way so you can start with your path, which means you can start speaking and getting credit for it, because there's going to be nothing more disheartening than to get in and start doing all these speeches and you're not even getting credit for it. You might, if you're going to be in the club and pay money for it, you might as well get credit for the speeches that you do. So it will give you like a digital tool. Let me take it off a shared screen for a second so y'all can see my whole face. It will take you to when you choose your path, it's going to send you like a manual, a digital manual, and it's going to literally walk you through every single step. Like every single path starts with an icebreaker. Your icebreaker is your absolute easiest speech in the world. It's 4 to 6 minutes, and guess what? It's all about you. So if you want to talk about your careers, if you want to talk about your family, if you want to talk about your pets, if you want to talk a little bit about each one of those, you get to draft it, but it will tell you how to draft it. You know, it may say have a good opening and a good middle and a good close, but it'll be very, very simple. And then each one of the levels continue to graduate as you go through them. So like the next one's going to be a little bit more tougher. It may be where you have to add vocal variety, or it may be to where you have to add body language. So it's going to be a progression. So even though you're allowed to do them out of order, you don't have to do, I mean, even though even though they ask you to do them in order, you don't have to, but I would strongly suggest that you do, because it builds and it builds and it builds. And if you kind of go out of order, you're going to be like overwhelmed, like, whoa, this is way too much. I didn't sign up for this. Okay. So that's both you guys' homework. Derek, you get your application and get signed up. So y'all
you have to.
Yes, so y'all can both get on and get your paths done. Or you're already there, no need to wait. You need to go ahead and get that done.
Sure.
Sooner than later. So the next screen that I'm going to show you, let me see if I can get over there. It's going to be what's called Easy Speaks. Look over here. So Easy Speaks is the program that we use to sign up for roles, okay? And it looks like it's a whole lot of information. Trust me, it's just a whole lot of words. So again, I don't like websites that's over encompassed because it's just like too much to look at, and I'm a little ADHD, so I'm like that's too much. So you sign in. My alter ego name is Patrina, so that's what my username is, if it'll let me do that. You actually just go to easyspeak.org, and then you have to sign up with a username and a password of your choice. And then once you do that, you're going to come up with something that looks like this. Again, pretty user friendly. You log in, and it's going to again give you a whole bunch of information. The only thing up front that I would say that you should be interested in, I mean, you can go and browse in your free time, but that you kind of need to know is go to the upcoming meeting. Our meeting is on September the 23rd. And when you go there, the agenda that you see printed, when you pre-fill this information, that's where they get the information for the agenda. So as you can see, I'm going to be Toastmaster of the evening for the next meeting. So I already signed up for that. Steve's going to be the timer. And so what you'll see when you go in for the first time is you'll see something. See how it says like not assigned by second speaker? And all you would do is just go and you would drill down, and your name will come up on that list once you sign in your username and password. That's how you're going to sign up for whatever role you're going to do. So when I was talking to you guys about signing up for a Zoom counter, you would just, put in your name and your username, go to the meetings and go to that actual meeting date. And then you would just come and you would scroll down. Let's see, what does it say? Zoom counter. Here it is. It's up top. Well, you can't sign up for it because you see Eric already signed up for it. So I see. Darn, I can't be the Zoom counter. Well, let me see. Is there something else I want to do? Oh, well, there's a floor evaluations. I don't really want to do that the first time. That's like 8 to 10 minutes, and it takes a lot to do that when you're not experienced. So you may just want to wait for the next meeting, or you always, let me tell you, always participate in table topics. Always. It can be nerve-wracking, but it is one of the greatest experiences that you can have because you will have other people evaluate how well you did and things to work on.
Table topics.
Right. You can also join the meeting ahead of time. So there's a little button that says next over here to the right. If you click next, it's going to take you to the next meeting. So as you can see for the next meeting, there's a lot of roles that's still available. Okay. I expect for you guys to sign up for the next meeting. It's October the 14th. Sure. You got 2 weeks to get together.
Okay, sure.
And then, of course, when you get done, you just go and you log out. Okay. So my thing is, go ahead and sign up for Toastmasters International. So it's toastmasters.org. Go ahead and sign up for Easy Speak. It's easyspeak.org. And get those 2 major things out of the way so you can start going with the program. Once you choose your path, we can schedule another meeting and we can kind of go over which path you guys chose and, maybe give you some tips on that specific path. What'd you say?
Sorry, what do you mean by like different path I choose?
The one before, right? The assessment.
Yeah.
She's talking about the assessment.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, let me go back to it real quick. Hold on, I'm gonna get right there. And I'll go and see if I can get y'all back on share screen. Share. Don't want to let me go. Oh yeah, I have to sign out of this one. Hold on, I'm gonna get you back to where you can see the paths, but I have to move some things around in order to get there. Because when you share a screen, you're like in a little box, and you have to get rid of the little box. Okay, go away. Okay. Log me out. I didn't want to log out completely. It's doing the most. Hold on 1 second, guys. Oh, here we go. See, it did something it wasn't supposed to do. I'm like, I didn't log out, so why did you log me out? So the different paths is like Eric said, it's like the presentation mastery, it's dynamic leadership. And what I can do is, if you all are interested in reading it, there's a actual presentation. Yeah, it's not going to let me get out of here for whatever reason. Maybe because I'm sharing it. Maybe I have to get out and then share it. Hold on 1 second. Okay, here we go. Choose a path.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically we just go to take the assessment and then it will pick up a path for us, right?
Okay, sure. Got it. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Go open. I still want it to open because, okay, here we go. So yeah, so there is, and we have a little time. I'll go through it really quickly if it'll come up. There's like so many paths. So you have presentation mastery, dynamic leadership, engaging humor, etc. You have all these different paths. And when you take the assessment, it will determine based on the way you answer the questions which one you should go with. But you can choose any of them that you want to start with.
Okay, sure.
So when I took my assessment, it said that they recommended that I go with presentation mastery and with effective coaching. And the reason you don't see effective coaching highlighted as recommended is because that's the actual path I'm working on right now.
Okay.
So is it once you complete one path and then you can do another path, or? Right.
Each path has I think 6 levels, and within each level it's like 3 or 4 different speeches that you do. So what I'm going to do is I have your email address. I'm going to email you. It's just a little catalog. And when you click on each thing, it'll open up, it'll expand, and it'll show you a little bit about okay, on this first level you have 3 speeches. The next level you have 4 speeches. The next one you have 2, and you can choose from 8. But it's very user-friendly, not hard at all. But I'll send you that, and then you can look at it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so we'll get out of here. So I told y'all I wasn't going to be all night. I had to show y'all those things because you're not going to know how to even get started the proper way.
Oh,
I mean, yeah,
yes.
you can just go out there and do whatever, but that's not ideal. So you're not
Thank you
going to
so
know the
much.
proper way if you don't kind of at least have some of the basic knowledge. So now
Yes.
I need to give you guys an opportunity to ask me any questions that you're dying to know about Toastmasters or how it works or how the club works or anything else that would help you all get acclimated into the club. You're up.
Oh, yeah, yeah, thanks. I just wonder, like, how you have been in Toastmaster for like 20 years, and why you pick Hong Kong MBA? Because I know that there is like different Toastmaster. Is
Right.
it? But I just pick it because in the Meetup app, I just randomly pick it. So I don't know.
Well, first off, thank you. That's a great question.
Oh.
It's like a tabletop question. Hold on, the pressure's on. No. I've always been an American club for the majority of my Toastmasters experience. But because it's an international club, I really wanted to get an experience of being able to share with other cultures, find out about their background, what their likes are, what their dislikes are, just different things of that nature. We've gone to, I think, 4 international conventions, which is typically out of the country. Here lately, they've been a little bit more like, just in another state. And Alice, who's the Division H governor in Hong Kong, we actually met her face to face at that international convention. And we developed a friendship. And so she kind of, invited us to like a Hong Kong meeting, and we went. And then I used to be a member of this online club called Online Presenters. They had members from all over the world, New Zealand, Australia. I mean, you name it. They were all over the place. And that was a good experience because you've got all these different time zones and all these different people and all these different, it was a great experience. But I was like, okay, I think I want to maybe just try to focus more on like one culture at a time instead of it being so broad to where I'm learning, because I didn't get a chance to really interact. That club had 65 members. So it made it a little more difficult to have conversations like we're having right now, unless you're in a separate video chat. And so I just kind of got online and I looked and I found the Hong Kong club and I was like, well, that looks kind of interesting. Let me go see what they're about. Didn't know anything about them, didn't know any of the members whatsoever. They had a workshop with a world-class public speaker, Aaron Beverly. So that was like 300 something people in attendance. But they sent me an email afterwards saying, hey, how about joining our club for like a regular meeting? Okay, sure. I've been looking for something else anyway. So I go and I join and I just fell in love with them. They are just so totally awesome. I have probably asked them 950 questions at least to where I probably would be on edge. And they have just been like, they love it. They love the questions. They're trying to improve in some areas, but they're very happy to have me as part of the club. And that's what I wanted. I wanted someone that was also very cultural sensitive. And I'm going to be seasoned.
Wow, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So that's good that we can meet you here.
Yes.
Have you ever been to Hong Kong? Just wondering.
I have not, but since me and Alice, and I think her last name is pronounced Say, even though it's TSE, I'm still working on the correct pronunciation of some of the last names. We have talked about going over there. In fact, we had talked about it right before COVID came up.
Oh, yeah.
But the next year's Toastmasters International Convention is going to be in Paris. And so several of them are talking about going there. And so we'll probably see her again in Paris and maybe push Hong Kong off till, 2 years or 3 years, whenever everything's
that's true.
completely over with. I mean, hey, the US is just as bad. So I wouldn't advise anybody to come over here either. I advise everybody to just stay seated for a minute until this, blows over. Or until we find a better way to deal with it, at least, vaccines and the rest.
Same as Hong Kong.
Yeah, same as Hong Kong.
Yeah,
so for me, I have a question about if I'm new to Toastmaster and then I sign up for roles like evaluator, but is it not good because I'm not experienced or?
That's the only way you get the experience. You get the experience pretty much through trial and error. Now I sent you all in WhatsApp just what you're going to do in each role. But the thing that you'll want to keep in mind most of all is how much time you have to do each role. So if you're called on for a table topics, they tell you have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. Try to at least speak until you see the green timing card or the virtual background, but no longer than when you see the red. Don't just chop it off and say, oh, I see the red, gotta go. Try to come to a smooth end. And then when you're doing an evaluation, again, the most important thing to remember is the time. It's 2 to 3 minutes. Don't be intimidated by the evaluations, because with every evaluation, there's an evaluation sheet. So you're actually using a pen and paper and you're filling out, you know, everything that's on that sheet. So you kind of have a guide of what to go by. The sheet is going to tell you what it is that they're looking for that person to improve upon or do well in that particular task. I think I have, hold on, let me see if I can get it. Don't go nowhere. Stand by. Oh no, I don't want to do that. It's funny because as the host of the meeting, you see all these crazy things pop up and you're like, I don't want that. I want to see if I can get to a, let me see, understand the leadership style. I'm working on pretty much like several different speeches at one time. So I just want to show you if it'll pull up. Come on, baby. The one thing that I've learned with using Zoom is that it takes a little while for things to actually pull up in the system. And so, okay, so hopefully you all can see that. So this is an evaluation form for one of the speeches that I'm gonna have that comes up saying, understanding your leadership style. So of course I'll put my name, the date, whoever is gonna be my evaluator. So like Daniel, Derek, if it was you, I'd have your name here, Derek. And it tells me for this speech, I have 5 to 7 minutes. I'm going to put in my speech title, and then I'm going to send it over to you and you know, say, here's my evaluation form, Derek, that you can use while I'm speaking. Usually the proper way to do it is that person will send it to you before that date or right before the meeting, because then you don't even have a chance to review it, which really gives an injustice for the evaluator. The proper way to do it is to be, once that person says, hey, I'm going to evaluate Patti, is get that evaluation form in their hand. So it tells you here, this is what the purpose statements is. It tells you notes for the evaluator. So it's kind of telling you what to look for. And then you have these general comments. Under the general comments, it's just about the same for any speech that you do. You're going to want to say what the member excels at. The next one is things that you may want them to work on or improve. And the last is, here's something to challenge yourself. This bottom portion is always going to be the same on every evaluation. Did they speak with clarity? How much vocal variety did they use? Did they use eye contact? And you're literally rating them on a scale, and you're putting the comments over to the side. Now, a lot of times people put a lot of pressure on themselves to try to fill out everything while the person's speaking. Well, you can't really listen to them if you're doing that. So my suggestion would be just get a blank piece of paper and kind of take notes, still including these things. And then after the meeting is over, go ahead and fill it out and send it to that person. So if I was going to do an evaluation over how the meeting goes today, so I'll just kind of, you know, give you guys an example. Let's see, what do we want to call this speech today? Starting Toastmasters. So Derek and Zoe, I just noticed that you all did a fabulous speech on starting Toastmasters. You joined a meeting with Patti Adams because you wanted to learn more about mentorship. So, you know, just kind of like a little starting point of such. And I'll say, you know, the things that I noticed you really excelled at is that you both have a good quality of speech. You used the vocal variety. I noticed that you had great eye contact with me throughout the time that you were talking. So you basically would just want to excel on all the good points of what they did. And then you want to go to some improvements. You can say, and that's not like, you're not commenting on backgrounds or their appearance or anything. You're strictly staying with the speech. So I noticed that in starting Toastmasters, that one of the things that you could improve upon is you may want to really slow your speech down a little bit, just so that people can understand you better. I also noticed that one of the things you did is that the whole time you were speaking, you were lifting your glasses up. That could be considered distracting. So, you know, try to make sure that your glasses are in position when you're doing your speech. And then it says, you know, something to challenge yourself. Here's a challenge I like to offer to you, Zoe and Derek. You know, every time you come to a meeting, be prepared. You know, spend some time rehearsing your speech so you don't go over time. I noticed you went slightly over time today. But overall, you all did a fabulous job, and I'm looking forward to hearing your next speech and learning more about you and your adventures in starting up Toastmasters.
Oh, got it.
Okay, got it.
So, you know, nothing that's, you know, it can kind of be nerve-wracking again when you first do it, because you're always going to be nerve-wracking at the first everything. First time you speak, first time you do an evaluation, first time you do a table topics. But it's kind of like, just take a deep breath and go for it.
Okay.
The worst that can happen is you just don't do anything.
Yeah.
That's not an option, by the way. I'm your mentor. That's not an option. You know, or that you go like way over time. So somebody's trying to flag you down like, hey, you're running into somebody else's time, so you do want to be, time sensitive. But the best thing that's going to come out is someone's going to evaluate the evaluator. That's what the journal evaluator does. So when you get through evaluating, and they know it's your first time doing it, and maybe your second or third time, they're going to come back and say, I was listening to Patti when she evaluated you guys, and I think she did a really good job at that. But one of the things that I noticed that maybe she didn't point out is your stage presence. You had awesome stage presence. They're going to basically evaluate me as your evaluator. So don't, worry about it. I say just jump right in. We're going to all make mistakes. We're going to have our good days and our bad days. It happens. But just keep in mind that we're all here to learn, and nobody knows everything. Even the 20-year Toastmaster, you don't know everything. And if you're in a part of a club that's like that, you probably want to run for your life. Because you're not going to learn anything. They're going to be judging you, and we're not here to judge. We're here to assist and to help. And if you don't want to do that, then you're probably in the wrong place. And I tell people many times, as new Toastmasters, go visit 2 or 3 clubs. Make sure that just like they're going to be a good fit for you, that you're also going to be a good fit for them.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I want to have this time with you guys, to have that personal connection so that we could just be comfortable with each other, because that helps too. Now you'll come to the club and be like, if I don't know anybody else, that girl Patti is crazy.
Yeah, we know Patti.
She's special.
Yeah, you are very nice. Yeah. And very thanks for taking your time, because you are so nice to develop us.
Well, it was my pleasure, and we'll have to do this again. And don't be shy. I know how busy you guys are. Like I said, kind of worked in both fields, and it can be, you don't even want to talk to anybody when you get done. It's like, I'm done. I don't want to hear any voices. I don't want to see any numbers. I don't care about I just want to go rest somewhere. So don't put so much pressure on yourself either. If you do one speech now and you don't do another speech for a month, that's okay. I would say try to sign up for some of the smaller roles, just so you can stay connected and you can learn. Don't just miss the meeting altogether, but don't put a lot of pressure on yourself thinking that, oh my gosh, I've got to do a speech because Carmen's done 5 speeches and I haven't even done my one. Well, Carmen may have more time to spend doing that. Maybe she wants to be a DTM in a year, so she has a goal. She has something she's trying to reach in the process of that. Don't let that intimidate you.
Sure.
Just
Thank you so much.
own pace, but stay in touch. It doesn't always have to be a Zoom call. It can be over email. It can be over WhatsApp. If you got 3 minutes and it's 4 o'clock in the morning, shoot your information out. I'm not going to answer because I'll be asleep.
Thank you so much.
But I promise as soon as I arise, I'll answer.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for your.
Thanks so much.
Well, let me tell you this before we go. I thank you guys, because I knew that it would be very challenging to try to do this with such a huge time zone. So I actually tried to encourage them, let the mentors be someone that's there local in Hong Kong, because y'all are all in the same time zone. And then basically when you're up at night, they're up at night, and it's going to be a good fit. But they're like, no, you're so good. And please. So thank you all also for staying up late. It's early for me, but it's late for you guys, so we could have this meeting, because I definitely wanted to be your mentor.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Y'all go get some sleep and keep those beautiful smiles. I love it.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Have a good day. Thanks.
I recorded the meeting, so I will send it to you as soon as it downloads.
Okay, sure.
Right.
Thank you so much.
You so
Thanks.
much.
Bye-bye.
God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.